the last time we talked, I was anticipating putting out the Bagel Project, which for anybody that follows along on the YouTube videos, as well as like the Instagram and Twitter, that has been kind of the big thing.
Yeah.
I think when we last were on, again, September, we kind of thought about doing another one in 3 months, like a December 2021. And that's when I thought the bagel site was going to be out. But it turned out it took a little bit longer, but you can't rush greatness. And yeah, it ended up doing really well.
When did it actually launch? Was it the beginning of February?
I think it was March.
It was March.
Yeah.
Of this past
I
year.
could track down the exact date, but yeah, it's sometime in early March.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we, Mike worked really hard on that. I helped. And our friend Todd, who built our original website and also helped to build the bagel website. And it looked amazing. And so we wanted to share it. So we did a little bit of outreach. We ended up getting picked up by Time Out New York. And they wrote an article that people were really interested in and people were engaging with. And then from there, it just snowballed. We had some local news coverage. We had some more national news coverage. And recently we were in the New York Times, which was really exciting, both digitally and in print. And we've just been able to talk to all these really cool people. And it's been nice to talk about the project. At first, it was purely bagel-related content, which I think is easy for people to get into, and it's a fun piece. We were like the fun food piece for a few weeks.
Yeah,
maybe a few
more
months,
than a few
actually.
weeks.
Yeah.
It's been everywhere, as JC said. New York Times, Washington Post, NPR. And then a lot of local stuff, which has been really fun.
Yeah.
Like NBC local, Fox local, PIX, New York One, ABC. I heard somebody told us. They didn't reach out to us.
Yeah, I guess we never saw that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that was all bagel related. And then in the last month or so, people have been also wanting to talk more about the walking, which is great. It's interesting how this is all just kind of happening naturally, but it's the way that we probably would have moved it anyway.
Yeah, that was kind of the theory that we had, which was that not everybody can understand what a marathon is, but lots of people in New York can understand what a bagel is. So we led with that as far as the documentation for the project, and it seems to have paid off because, as Jesse said, it is like kind of bleeding into the walking aspect of things. And also the bagel stuff's just fun to talk about regardless. So yeah, we're very pleased about it. And another great thing about the bagel thing is that there was an NFT component as well. So if you go to everythingiseverything.nyc, if you haven't already, but you can find it on all the previous videos. Everything.nyc. You can see the map. You don't need to have an NFT to use the site in any way, but we have a minting mechanic where you can mint the review of the bagels, and it's been great because it has basically allowed us to backfill some of the financial, needs that we've had because, we've been walking for so long. And yeah, it's kind of allowed us to lay down some more track so that we can continue to do more documentation on the project.
Yeah, so there's still some available. There were 202, right?
Yeah.
Now there actually are more reviews than that because since the website's launched, a number of people have said, oh, you missed this one, or you missed this one, or this is my favorite. And if there were enough people calling your attention to a place, you would go and re-review or review. But those didn't end up getting turned into NFTs just because of the timing of like when things are released and how that all works. And if you understand what an NFT is, you will understand more than what I just said. And if you don't, then that's all that you need to know. But a bunch have sold.
Yeah,
more than half,
we've
which is
reached
so exciting.
120 as of this week, which is great.
But that means that there's still about 82
Yeah.
available, and it's fun because you go and you don't pick which one you want. It's like a randomized selection. So you get assigned a bagel store. It's kind of like getting your like tarot read or something. Like you don't know.
Tarot.
Sure,
Tarot.
exactly. Yeah. It's kind of like getting your tarot cards pulled or something. You don't know what it's going to be, and then like you can see, what does that bagel store say about you? It becomes your bagel store.
Well, it also means that 3 of the 5 best bagels by borough have not been sold yet.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Oh,
only the best Brooklyn bagel and the best Staten Island bagel have been sold, but the best New York, the best Bronx, and the best Queens bagel, which is the #1 bagel in the city, PNC Bagels, still out there.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun. And to make all that on top of it, when we launched the site, it's 0.1 Ethereum each. So Ethereum was $3,000 for one back then, and now it's hovering around $1,000. So
that means a $300 bagel is now a $100
it's now a
bagel.
$100 bagel.
So that's a good deal.
Yeah, it's a great deal. And if you're like, if you've ever been interested in NFTs and you don't even know where to start, reach out, because I really like it. I mean, it's definitely been, I don't know if we talked about it in the September video or not, but it was definitely one of the, as we were off-ramping the walk, I was on-ramping to that world. I feel like we probably talked about it because it was such a big thing even back then.
Yeah.
But, despite the fact that things are really down right now, the things that got me excited about it didn't have anything to do with like how much the value of one crypto coin is. It had a lot more to do with like what an NFT means as a digital medium, what it means for artists that are like ourselves, where we're cross-disciplinary and we're dealing with a lot of different mediums. And this medium itself, NFTs, can contain music, it can contain art, it can contain documentation on a 7,000-mile walking project, and it potentially will have the ability to provide kind of a through line for all of the stuff that we're doing into the future. So, I mean, that's just one of many, many things that I'm excited about.
Yeah.
For it.
Yeah, it's cool. And I mean, I don't like to be on the computer really, so I haven't gone down that path of making digital assets, but I appreciate it partially because I have made so many things in the past, and whenever I'm making something physically, there's always this question of like, well, what am I going to do with it? Like, where does it go?
Yeah.
And if someone buys it and, hangs it in their home, or if it's a garment and they hang it on their body, or if it's like a home goods and they use it, whatever it is, that's always nice. But inevitably, if I were to make a series of things, such as, bagel reviews or collections of things that we found, and I made 200 pieces, probably maybe they'd all sell it, that would be cool. But like most of the time when things like that are made, you end up with a little bit of a back stock, and then it kind of just like becomes this thing that takes up space. Yeah. As opposed, like when you're making it, it's this like beautiful expression. But when it's a physical item that you have and you just have to like find storage for it, it's really hard to throw away a beautiful expression or like sell it for cheap to like just get it out of your house or give it as a gift when someone didn't want it to begin with. So that's always a challenge. I think for a lot of people, definitely it's always something I think of before I sit down and physically make a series of things. There's this question of like, well, where does it go? Whereas with making a digital piece, again, hopefully people buy them and use them and have fun with it and like engage it. But once it is bought, you don't have to worry about like, oh, well, where's my wall space for this? You can just appreciate it and like join the community. Yeah. And then the 80 that are not sold yet aren't like sitting in this room like under a table or something. They're sitting on like a small disc, or I don't actually, they're somewhere in the ether. They're somewhere else that like isn't in our house. I don't know where they sit. They sit digitally somewhere else.
They're hosted on a site called Interplanetary File System.
They're in the Interplanetary File System.
Or IPFS, which is a commonly used hosting solution for NFTs.
Right.
But exactly,
That's
to Jesse's
not in
point,
our home.
No, to Jesse's point, on the other side of that camera is a closet. I don't want to ruin the mystery for you of this room, but it's actually a room. It's not torn from space and time. And in that closet, there are DVDs and there are CDs of movies and spoken word things that I've made in my life, and I'm not going to throw them out. If anybody wants one, I will mail one to you. If you can, you can. They're free. These ones are free now. But we don't have to maintain the NFTs. We don't have to store the NFTs. We don't have to worry about a DVD player. We don't have to worry about a CD player. These are just, again, some of the advantages that I see to this thing.
Right.
And
obviously, I still like physical items. I'm still making physical items.
And you're making physical things for NFT projects right now, which is really cool.
That's true. I'm also part of our new decorations here as part of my new home goods line.
That's right. That's right. Please. Which, we should talk about in a second. It's part of the many things that we can get, updated on in the past 9 months.
But yes, I did make some. I made your shirt for you.
Yeah.
That's based on your bagel NFT, and then I'm making some other clothing items that are in collaboration with some of the NFT projects. So yeah, it's fun, and that's a nice bridge too. It can go super digital, it can go super physical, and then it can be like splitsies, half and half.
Yeah. So right now, I think in the whole space, to whatever degree people out there are following it along, it's like all the froth is coming off the top of the market right now, and it's going to be probably a prolonged period of time where people are just going to be experimenting again. And just like out of the last time cryptocurrency was in a dip, NFTs became a thing that people were pursuing, there'll be a period of time where the people that are just looking to make profits will leave because there's no profits to be had at that, of any meaningful import. And then it'll be just people that are excited to see where this whole thing goes. And that's where I feel right now.